everyone, hope you're doing well. Today it is time for the Day 5 update when it comes to the space race event. Now, yesterday was definitely the most struggle day, I'll definitely say, of the day so far. For some reason, on stream it took me 9.5 hours to be able to get all of the boxes. This is about an hour and a half more than it usually takes, so I'm not exactly sure what was going on. But, you know, we did complete the 40 boxes, the 40 containers, and the way I'm tracking it is obviously through the fuel and the oxidizer. So we started off with 90 and now we're at 130 today. And once again, if we have a look at the general build of the rocket, what I am once again increasingly seeing is it's taking around 2 days to be able to actually get the rocket. You can see that I did finish off the second rocket yesterday after being incredibly close to it. So now I have a tank hull and I have a tank turret. And this is what it looks like. Once again, if you didn't know what your flight successfully landed looks like, it's really nice. And now we just need the tank chassis and we can build ourselves one of these vehicles. So, as I said, it takes a day to be able to do half a rocket, and that kind of makes sense in the terms of fuel and everything, because you need 80 fuel and also 80 oxidizer to assemble one of these rocket propellants, as you can see here. So if you haven't, garnered 80 from the 2 days, which would be, 40 each day, then you wouldn't be able to launch the fuel. So it seems like, at least ratio-wise, when it comes to the containers and when it comes to the fuel, they both have pretty much exactly the same amount that, you get per day. You get, half of the fuel and half of the oxidizer, and you get half of the parts to be able to build the rocket. And this is kind of sad, because I thought, with the rares that were dropping, I actually got myself some titanium and some aluminium alloy yesterday. I was really hoping that we could get to a point that if we had enough rare drops, we could build more than, the amount of rockets that you're supposed to be able to build. And unfortunately, that isn't happening. The rares are the reason why I'm getting to halfway, instead of the reason why I'm getting further than halfway. If we have a look at the amount of stages, so there are 6 pieces per stage. There are 5 stages, so 6 times 5 is 30. And then if we have a look at how many there are, so 3, 6, 9, and then we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I'm just over halfway when it comes to this setup technically, and it's just kind of sad in a way, because I went into this event thinking that there was definitely a chance of getting all of the things just as I do normally, but it looks like that is not the case. If we go on this current trajectory that I'm going on right now, being the 6th, we'll complete our 3rd rocket today, so we'll be able to get our tank chassis, and then we have from the 7th to the 12th, so that is 5 days, in order to build, a bunch of others. So 7 to 12 is 5 days, so if we get 2 rockets and then 2.5 rockets done a day, that means that we can get ourselves, 3, we can get ourselves the Object 279, and then we can nearly get ourselves the AU-1 Corsair, but there is no way in hell that you can get everything. So if you are just grinding and not using the market, it seems like this event is impossible to get everything from. Doesn't matter about the first places. The first places I have 17 right now, but the only thing that they affect is the timing of the rocket coming back, which for an average player, it doesn't really matter unless you're doing it right on the end of the wire, right at the end of the event. So I'm able to get 3 of the vehicles technically. If I can build 5 rockets, which is what we're looking at least if we sit on our current trajectory. So I'll be able to get the SGB, I'll be able to get the SDKFC 2341, and I'll also be able to get the Object 279 or the AU-1 Corsair. But I can't get all 4 vehicles. Instead, we're going to have to be stuck with 3, and that pisses me off, if I'm kind of honest with you. The amount of effort that is going into, this event, the amount of grinding and the amount of stuff like that I'm doing for it, you would want to, and it's not as if I haven't hit the cap. I've hit the cap literally every day on these. Today I'm actually going to do some preloading. I'm going to actually play some of the DO217 because I want to get the JU188 research since I haven't really touched it. So I'm going to play some of the DO217 and the DO335 before, so I can get some crates pretty quickly. But the main thing is with this event, I haven't missed a beat, apart from the first day, the first half a day, because as usual, they throw in that half a day at the start where you can get stuff, and I just can't do this event. It's impossible for me to get all of the vehicles, and they are once again forcing you towards the market, and this is just incredibly sad. This is something that I've talked about in previous events that I'm really, really unhappy with, and as usual, when it comes to the comments made by Kirill, you didn't serve. He did an FAQ last year, a live stream, and it was a really good FAQ, and it was really nice to see him and Sean just sit there and talk about, the questions that the community had posed. But one of the things he talked about with these events is that these events are designed for the most dedicated War Thunder players, the people who play the most. Well, I've not missed a beat this event, and it's impossible for me to get all the vehicles. So which is it? Is it a market-based event, which you should have just said it was? Or is it the fact that, you actually do want, people to be able to grind these out, and maybe the random drop amount was just wrong? The very sad thing to me is watching that how to get the Moon Rover video. The one which was there to be able to, tell you how to do everything. The amount of times that the market is mentioned is sickening. It is really, really sad to me that people are being asked to use actual money to complete these events instead of being able to grind them. And I will make sure after this event is over to give my post-mortem and make sure to talk about this issue once again, which it looks like will not be changed in the future when it comes to these events. The general idea of the Build-A-Bear events are really cool. I really like the general scope of it. I really like the building part of it. I really like the general playing and getting the boxes part of it. It gives the game another avenue to make you play, basically, and to make you unlock stuff. What I am sick of is being forced to use the market in order to get all of the prizes that are on offer. This has now happened around about, well, actually, technically, for Operation Shipyard, it didn't happen. So in Operation Shipyard, you could actually get the first places, and that would guarantee you all of the vehicles. So Operation Shipyard, they did a little bit better. There was a little bit of miscommunication when it came to the first places, but at least it was possible. Battlefield Engineer was rigged, and so that was definitely not possible. Operation Summer was okay. Operation Summer with the IS-7, you could actually do everything. Now we seem to be back onto a Battlefield Engineer spin where it is impossible to get all of the vehicles, and I'm just not okay with that. I cannot say how much I am annoyed about this because of the fact that it just sets up an incredibly bad precedent where instead of just grinding, now you can use the market. Well, guess what? Not everybody, first of all, has access to the market. Second of all, you have a bunch of console players who you are supposed to be putting on the same level as PC players who also do not have access to the market, and you have to create these special rules to give them what they want. And even then, it doesn't work, because guess what? They have to pay too. They have to use Golden Eagles too. So you're basically saying, okay, PC players, you guys just pay on the market and you'll be able to get this stuff. And then for the PS4 and the Xbox One players, we're just going to throw it in your face that you need to use Golden Eagles for this shit. That's horrific. Right? That is just awful. And if you want to go along the line of, well, these events are not designed, so you get all the vehicles, that is insane. That is ridiculous, that thinking. You should always give individuals the opportunity to be able to research, to be able to get whatever they want through these events. You should not set up artificial barriers between people which only exist in a general level to either limit the amount of vehicle that is around, which is obviously not true, otherwise you would limit the amount of vehicles that people could get, or it's to make them more rare on the market, so therefore you can make more money. The marketing team at Gaijin has made a ton of great decisions over the last year. They've been doing a lot of sponsored videos with a lot of different streamers. You can see that it's obviously working, not just from, well, maybe not even at all from that point of view, but just the game in general. You can see that it's working on the amount of people that are online. You know, we have record numbers of people online this month, which is amazing. Then you have, you know, stuff such as the toilet paper event. We've had a lot more sales so far this year. There's been a lot of great stuff, but for the love of Christ, can we please get this event right so it isn't just a money-making scheme for certain members of the community, and it is a drought for other members of the community. And then you've got the third part, which I'm in, which are just pissed off because you set up this whole thing to not be able to grind. It's a piss take, if I'm quite honest with you. It is not good at all. I was actually playing mainly the Italians yesterday, the 7.7s, and the reason for this is because the OF40 needed a few modifications on it, so I got that spaded. The OF40 I've actually really enjoyed. I really enjoy the OF40. I also enjoy its bigger brother, the OF40 Mark IIA, and now I'm moving on to the M47, which I'm definitely having less luck in, but at least, you know, I'm still enjoying it. I wish it just had slightly better gun depression. Today, I think I'm going to be playing the, as I said, the Do 217 to get the JU 188, and then I'm actually thinking about grinding out another chieftain, but I also need to finish off my T54 grind, which of course is going to be down here. I just have to finish off the 1951, and I will have all of the T54 spaded. Had a very fun time in them, really enjoyed my time in them, and also might get started on the T55A at some point, since that's going to be a pretty fun grind. But anyway, that will be done on stream later. If you want to check out the stream, make sure to, you know, look in the link in the description on Twitch. The other thing to also mention is if you have a question or you want something answered, normally that is the best place to do it, or on the Tech Hub Discord, which you can also find a link for in the description, and you can put questions in Q&A for Tech, and I'll make sure to read them, I'll make sure to answer them for you. And as always, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I just want to thank Ambrosius McClellan, B. Young, Blackie, Chris Giltnane, Daniel Stanton, Jay Wilt, John Ryman, Martinez, Super Cacti, Trigger Hippie, Eugens Terry, and also Elove Goat and Samuel Slick for supporting the channel.